your point of view, whatever, then drive on. If you're a young lady, you know, and you're a little bit on the wild side, and you know you're a little bit on the wild side, you know, maybe you can look at this and see why you're doing what you're doing and maybe make some adjustments. But I know that, you know, living is hard. The world is hard. I mean, I get back to the States and I'm on the street and I look around. And I'm from New York all the way down to Florida, you know. I'm there for about 3 or 4 months every year and look around and see all kinds of stuff, you know. On the bus, you know, I'm not riding around my fancy car. I'm on the bus, driving up and down, listening to stuff, see what's going on and all that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little break, and I have to stop every 9 minutes because that's all I get. And so we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna look at some stuff. Hope you stay with us and all this stuff. Okay, here we go. We want to start with bears. Now, what did bears and women got in common? Maybe nothing, but maybe so. Now, if I was gonna hunt bear, I'm gonna go out in the wood and hunt bear or bears. You know, should I go and buy the biggest gun I can find? Go find the biggest gun I can find and run out there in the woods. You know, I'm some city slicker. I'm gonna go get the biggest gun, run out in the woods. How far would I get? Maybe not too far. But if I go to the library and study on bears, where they eat, where they sleep, you know, what are they doing this time of the year? What are they doing that time of the year? Where they scratch, how they mate, with this and that. The pros and cons, aggressiveness of this kind of bear over that kind of bear, and this and that, and all this size. Their lifespan and this and that, and appropriation, all the different little activities they can do. Can they climb trees? Can they swim? You know what I mean? How can I get away from them if I have to? Whatever. But if I go to a library and study about bears, I got a better chance of maybe not shooting one, but at least I don't get eaten. You know, I got a better chance. Now, next thing I want to do is study some people who know something about bears. I'm going to go to the zoo or go someplace on some animal farm or whatever and talk to people who been into bears and know about bears and this and that and this and that and this, and I'm gonna sit down and chew their brain and pick their brain and pick my nose and scratch my hair, all kind of stuff until I learn a lot about bears before I go out there and call myself some kind of bear hunter. And this is what we want to do with women folks. Later on, we're going to do a story on guys. If this goes well on YouTube, then we'll do a story on guy profile, because here again, sweetheart, well, excuse me, here again, guys, look, you can't go anywhere unless you know who you are and what you are and what you're about, and you'll be surprised to know that you don't know a lot of stuff about yourself. Or generally people don't know a lot about themselves. They think they know, but they don't know. Or they know a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of little stuff that's lost in plain sight. But gee whiz, I didn't think of that. You know, gee whiz, I could have made a better decision by doing it this way and that way. So we're not going to come here and pick on you. Man, you ought to do this. You're Uncle Tom. You're this, and you're a coon, and you're all. We're not going to get into all that, because that's not productive. We're going to a soft, simple way of doing things, and that is, if you are calm, then the people that you are relating to will be calm. If you're pleasant, then they'll be pleasant. If I'm running up on some woman, if I'm pleasant, then more than likely she'll calm down and be pleasant. And the same thing with guys. If If I run up on somebody on the street, if I'm pleasant, then more than likely they'll be pleasant. But if they don't, I mean, we have to get into it. We'll get into it, but at least we start out with some type of basic pleasantry. So the first thing we want to look at is pleasantry begets pleasantry. And I'm looking at my, got a little time. Okay. We can start with general females, whether they're human or animal, whether they're horses or cows or bears or elephants. And we can look at male and female. We look at zoology, we look at animals, and we try to observe what they do and why they do what they do. Most animals just don't engage in sexuality. They have some kind of ritual. You know, they have some kind of ritual or game or something they play. If you watch cows, they just don't go and do the in and out. They have some kind of game. Like horses, they'll meet and sniff each other and this and that, and then chase each other around. Usually the female will run off, the male chase her around, they chase each other over the heels and this and that. And somewhere in the afternoon, they might mate. But they have this little ritual. And you see birds and things, they have this little ritual. They dance around and do their little dance, and they want to show the female that they are, you know, what they got. You know, they're strong or they're smart or they know some songs or whatever, or they can make a nest or whatever it is. Now, we look at humans, and we see that humans do the same thing. The sexual game is a game, and is played as a game. It's kind of fleeting and flirtatious. It's not, you know, well, this is the only way, and this is the way, and this and that, and you ought to be like this, and I'm like that, and all this stuff. It's a game. It's flirtatious. It's a wiggle and a giggle and a sniggle, you know. And so we need to look at that when we begin to look at the basic female. So we're going to get into some stuff. We're going to come right back, and we're going to get into some nuts and bolts by making observations and seeing what's going on, and then we can apply this to different situations. In other words, women have something we call moods. They are moody, and the mood has a, you know, there's some sense to the craziness. You know, they have a mood, and if you could understand this mood, then you can better understand where they're coming from. Now, if women folks know they have a mood, and they are moody different times, and they move with the mood, and then we can use this as a pattern, or they can use this as a pattern to, you know, to make things easier. Now, I've been married for 40-some years to the same woman, and I have a mean wife. I mean, the child is downright mean, you know, and she's always been mean. But I've never had a lot of problems with the wife. Why? Because before I got married, I went to the library. Well, first of all, I talked to Cousin Bill and Uncle George and all that stuff. Well, I got to go because it's 9 minutes, but I'll be back, and we'll talk some more. Just hang in there. Coming right back.